And the next element of the Four Noble Paths, we have talked about it a lot, that is mindfulness. And mindfulness always brings about concentration. When you are very mindful of something, you are concentrated on it. And because you are so concentrated, you get the insight. And yesterday, and the day before yesterday, we spoke about 3 kinds of concentrations that can liberate us from our despair, from our suffering. That is the 3 doors of liberation. And the teaching on the 3 doors of liberation are available in every single Buddhist tradition. Emptiness, signlessness, and aimlessness. I believe that there is a good Dhamma talk in English about the 3 doors of liberation, in French also. So concentration is a very powerful energy that can liberate us from fear, from anger, from suffering. Many things that we do in the world are based on fear. If fear is no longer there, we won't do it, like the war in Afghanistan and so on. The war in Vietnam, if it lasted too long because there was fear. And the war of Afghanistan is very much of the same nature, based on fear. We should be able to learn from the Vietnam experience, and not to allow Afghanistan to become a second Vietnam that ruin both the people there in Afghanistan and America. We need awakening. We need to learn from the past. We need to go deeply into the second noble truth. We should change the nutriment. America spent a lot of money and human lives in Vietnam. They have used a lot of bombs and poisons in Vietnam. The poisons that destroyed rivers, mountains, forests, chemicals. And the suffering still continued. But now America has seen very clearly that the war in Vietnam was not necessary. If in the beginning America pledged to offer both North and South Vietnam means to rebuild themselves, and not acting on the base of fear, the situation would have been very different. Now America is doing business with Vietnam, a communist country. And we see very clearly that the many years of war in Vietnam did not serve anyone. Destroy many millions of Vietnamese, destroy hundreds of thousands of Americans, destroy the land, the river. And we are still doing that in Afghanistan. We have fear as our nutriment. And besides fear, there is anger, violence, suspicion, and all this kind of unwholesome food. And when we have mindfulness and concentration and look deeply, we have the kind of insight that will liberate us. In Buddhism, we speak of liberation and salvation in terms of insight, not in terms of grace, but in terms of insight. I think grace is a kind of insight. Insight is kind of grace. When you have the insight, you are free. You are able to get out of your fear, your anger. That is enlightenment. And that is called right view. Right view. Right view is a kind of view that is a kind of insight that is free from all discrimination. It's free from dualistic thinking. Right view allowed the Father to see Himself in the Son. Right view allowed the Father to see that the suffering of the Son is His own suffering, the suffering of the Father. Right view allowed the Son to see that He is the continuation of His Father. His Father is there in every cell of His body. And happiness is not an individual matter. If the Son is not happy, and then the Father cannot be happy either. Right view is the insight of interbeing, no separation. And that is not an idea. My right hand and my left hand, they have that insight. Although they are different hands, they have different names, but they always collaborate with each other. They treat each other like themselves. That's the wisdom of non-discrimination. And if Israelis and Palestinians know that there are two hands of the same body, they will stop. They will accept each other. And that is the insight that we need. In the right view, there is no more any enemy. We are each other, we are in each other. And because the view is right, the thinking is right, the speech is right, the action is right, the livelihood is right. So right views is the foundation of everything right. And the Noble Eightfold Path is based on the insight of interbeing, togetherness, no separation. And that is why compassion is possible, love is possible, love in speech is possible. Please join me to wipe up this mindfully. Breathe, enjoy your breathing.